Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we're making watermelon jerky.
Grab a plate, 'cause it's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today we are making watermelon jerky. And I know that probably sounds completely crazy, but I saw it at Trader Joe's. They have been selling these packages of watermelon jerky, although it's just dried watermelon, so it's just like dried fruit. We are going to spice this up and make it more savory, and you are going to be shocked at how delicious it is. And the reason why I made this is because when you buy a watermelon, there's all these different things, all these ways to test if they're actually ripe or not, but you really can't tell until you cut that guy open. And sometimes they are no good. They're tasteless, or they're just a little bit mushy. So if you come to that point and you have one of those watermelons, don't throw it out. Don't feed it to your chickens. We're gonna show you what to do. So I'm just gonna start slicing into this guy. And I'm making slices because that's gonna be the jerky. That's gonna form the pieces of jerky. So I'm gonna go probably about an inch thick, maybe just a hair more than an inch. Okay, set that there. Don't roll away. All right, then I'm just gonna cut it in half and then cut off the rind. And I know there's a lot of really creative folks out there that know what to do with watermelon rinds. I'm not a huge fan of pickled watermelon rinds, but by all means, whatever you need to do with that, it's great. All right, so I'm gonna cut this in half. It's just easier to cut bigger slices first and then to cut it in half when you have it out of the shell, like that, and keep it piled on top of each other, and then slice it lengthwise. So then you end up with pieces like this, about that thick. So it's probably ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch thick, and really that's not really that important. I just wouldn't go much thicker than that because it just takes so long to dry. I have my dehydrator sheets here. This is just the tray with the screen on it. And that's all it needs really. So we're just gonna cut those and layer them on there and keep going until this is full. Today's show is brought to you in part by Complement. As healthy as it is, did you know there are a handful of missing or hard to get nutrients from a plant-based diet? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why I take Complement Plus every day. Complement Plus contains the 8 critical nutrients in dosages optimized specifically for plant-based eaters. Plus, they're completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use the code WFPB15 at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, so now that you have your watermelon already finished, I'm going to show you the spice mix that I'm going to make. So I just used about a teaspoon of onion powder. Oops, I'm going to put it in my little funnel here. Easier to get into there. And I just had an old spice container so that I can sprinkle the spices onto there. It just makes it a little more consistent. So I have onion powder, cracked pepper, and smoked paprika. And then for the saltiness, I'm going to use Bragg's liquid aminos, but you could use a low sodium soy sauce or tamari sauce. I like to use it in my little spritz bottle because it's really easy to control. If you don't have that, you could put it just in a little container and use a little basting brush just to baste with. So first I'm just going to spritz each of these with just a little bit. Because you know if you remember eating jerky at all, I remember jerky many years ago, and most of them have kind of a sweet and salty flavor. So this is going to give it that salty flavor. And the watermelon, of course, is the sweetness. But you don't need very much, because as these dry, the flavor just gets concentrated. And I know you caught me before I said don't feed them to your chickens. Just a force of habit from growing up in Nebraska. I don't have chickens. But the rinds will go great on your compost if you have compost in a garden. All right, so I'm just gonna shake it up a little, and then we're just gonna gently shake it onto each slice. And this is completely up to you how much of this you sprinkle on. But I would just start, you know, with your first batch, just start with a gentle sprinkle of this so that it doesn't have an overpowering taste. Okay. And if you like yours really peppery, you can, by all means, put a little bit more cracked pepper on there. I really like mine to have that nice punchy peppery flavor. Or if you like them spicy, you could actually put a little bit of chili powder or cayenne pepper on there too. Delicious. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to take them to the dehydrator, and I'm going to set it on 135. And usually it takes about 24 hours, and you don't have to flip them or anything because these screens are, you know, they're see-through, so all that air comes through the bottom as well as the top. So let's get them into the dehydrator. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. Our supporting members gain access to great member perks like our monthly product giveaways, ebooks, and in-depth courses, including our 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, where we offer a step-by-step guide to making the switch to a fully plant-based diet. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, everybody, here they are, fresh out of the dehydrator. Oh, smells amazing. And see how much smaller they are than the pieces that we put on there? They're real thin. They should still be pliable, but that's really up to you. You can leave them in there until they get kind of crispy. It's just how tough of a chew do you want. And then you can just put them into an airtight container, and I would store them in the fridge because there are no preservatives here on this stuff. And if you leave them out on the counter, I think they would probably go moldy after just a couple days. So keep them in the fridge to keep them nice and fresh. All right, let's go for a taste. All right, let's try these guys. This is something so unusual. You really have to give this a try. It's so, it's really addictive too. It's sweet, but punchy with the onion powder and the smoked paprika, and that you get that little cracked pepper. Just a little punch of heat in there. Super chewy. Man, what a great snack, especially in the summer. Oh, you're just gonna love it. So be sure to give this video a like, click that subscribe button, and I'll meet you back here next week for another great recipe.